people don't consider is you've got the lost income opportunity. And what that means is you just took 10,000 litres of canola and fed it to a pig, and that canola could have been sold at market for about £7,000. So then the question is does your pig bring in £7,000 after eating that 10,000 litres of canola? And if it doesn't, then it was probably better for you to sell the canola at market and not have a pig. And in base game, that's very close. In Maize Plus, pigs eat, I think he was saying about 5 times more food than base game. So you're having to buy more food. So the pig is going to cost you more in purchase food, or sort of cost you more in unrealised crop sale. Now the next problem is pigs don't graze. They don't eat grass, so having a grass pasture attached to a pig pen is not going to allow the pigs to eat for free. So what's the next thing you can do? Well, there is the farm supply pack, which is just the ability to purchase grains from the store. Now, I don't know if it allows me to cheat, but I haven't actually looked at this. Containers, bales, pallets. So you've got a barley pallet, 5,000 litres for £1,000, canola the same, chaff the same, maize the same, oats the same. So £1,000 for 5,000 litres, but when you look at this one, oats, 5,000 litres of oats is 5 times that. You can sell oats for, at the moment, 5 litres for £2,000. Now the rationale with using the farm supply pack is that it's lower quality oats, which is why you can buy them cheaper. You're growing high quality oats, you're selling them to you're selling them on the market and making 500 per 1,000 litres. And these low quality oats you can buy in pallets from the store and feed your animals with, and it's not going to be as costly to you, conceptually as costly to you, as using your own high quality oats to feed your horses. I'm going out on the market and I'm getting, animal quality oats as food, as a food source. There is the potential I could buy a ton of oat pallets, take them down to the grain mill and turn them into flour, which we are definitely going to avoid doing, because that would just be cheating in my mind. The other thing he did suggest was use the enhanced animal system mod, which changes the production of number of animals produced. Now for cows, it's not really significant. There is a 98% chance that when a cow has a child or has a calf, that they will have one calf. There is a 1% chance they will have no calves, and there is a 1% chance they have 2. So it's not really that big for cows. For pigs, however, the percentages are distributed from a minimum of 8 piglets through to a maximum of 12 piglets. So for every 4 months you have a pig, it will produce at least 8 piglets and potentially up to 12, with the distribution towards the middle. So you're more likely to get 10 piglets on average. The problem is I put that mod onto this playthrough this morning and it was conflicting with something. So I don't know what it was conflicting with. I don't have enough time to test out what it was conflicting with, but it was conflicting. So I had to remove it immediately. The other thing it allows is for animals to die. So I think it's after about 3 years, there is a chance that any of the animals you have will die. If you don't feed your animals, they will die. If you don't, it allows you to store more animals in a shed than the shed technically allows. But their health will go down if you don't relieve the overcrowding. So our cow barn will take 1,000 cows. We could potentially get more cows into it with the enhanced animal system, but they will not have 100% health at any time. You can change it so that as soon as you hit the shed maximum, it will sell the excess. So you'll get the excess and then it will sell them. So if you had a pig pen that could hold 40 pigs, you have 40 pigs, and the 40 pigs all have at least 8 babies, you will end up with 320 piglets in the shed, plus the 40 original pigs. It will allow those 320 piglets to be accrued to the shed and then immediately sell them. So immediate income. The other thing it does is it reduces the value of baby animals by 25%. So you won't be selling your piglets at normal values, they'll be 25% less. So if a piglet costs, let's go with £100, normally if you're running that particular mod, the piglet will only be worth 75. But you're getting 8 rather than 1. So 8 times 75 is way more than 1 times 100. But at that point, the suggestion is you buy a flock of pigs, whatever it is, a herd of pigs, and you keep them, and you just sell all the babies immediately, and after about 3 or 4 breeding cycles, your cow yard is it's making money. It's not particularly lucrative as a money maker, but it's making money. So what I may have to do if we ever want to go to pigs is okay, I ended up doing all of that. Folding is not allowed while the plough is on. Okay, let's do that. Is it supposed to fold the other way? I don't know. Let's play discover how to use this plough. Alrighty. There we go. So is the plough is, dude, quit doing all the foldy stuff. There we go. Okay, that's good. Dive across there. Okay, that's all of the plough. Well, that's all of that ploughing done, as I said. We're not completely done with everything. I need to go back to the John Deere. We'll bring that back to the farm and transport some more oats down to the grain store, grain mill. But yeah, if there's a patch to the enhanced animal system, then I will obviously update it and try again to see if it's still conflicting. As I said, I don't know what's conflicting, but it basically, when I loaded the game this morning, the mini-map at the bottom left was just showing pH levels on every field, which I thought, that's a little bit odd. I doubt it's conflicting with precision farming, but it might be conflicting with some other mod I have loaded. And then again, I may try again later in the week if I have more time to mess around. But yeah, we're basically running 3 streams this weekend, 3 streams next weekend, and so I don't really have a lot of in-between time, especially between Friday and Monday, to do any real testing. That's why, for the most part, I think there's probably an hour between yesterday's stream and today's stream. Because that's all I had time for this morning. You will notice there is a fence here, and there isn't a house. I knocked down the house there and expanded the painted part of the field. Obviously, that's the next bit of ploughing I'm about to do, is to finish out, at least in part, that corner, not entirely. But if I decide that I can't get the enhanced animal system working, I may remove, there's the pig shed there, there's the manure pit there, and just pull all of that out, and that will increase the area of our yard. We'll just turn that into expanded yard space, which will give me more places to store stuff, and that might be a good plan. At least I might think it's a good plan for now. And we can always, there's going to be more opportunity to buy other yards, and so what I might end up doing is just going out and buying other yards, and eventually end up with a pig yard where we keep pigs, where we actually keep pigs, should I say. Find out, dear. Whoa, dear, oh dear. But I do find that obviously it's nice to have the yards all pre-set up, but sometimes I do like the opportunity to arrange the buildings as I prefer, and put the buildings I prefer in, so that everything's fine and wonderful. Obviously, we never really had much of that opportunity in the past on our farms. Obviously, Farm Sim 17, placing buildings on law folds was just horrible because the yards weren't flat, weren't level. With Oakfield Farm, I didn't touch the provided yards, but Oxygen David had given us a couple of placeable areas, and so the bottom, what I called the bottom yard, we had 3 sheds. We put our silage down there, and it was quite a nice usable area for more equipment. And that's kind of the issue we have. On this map, I'm not sure we're going to have that issue, at least early on, because we're running the original yard, which has the cows and the pigs, and then we just bought the arable yard just down the road, which has a whole host more sheds that we can store overflow equipment. Now I'm likely to put the arable equipment down there, so the harvester will eventually go down there. When we get a decent seeder, that'll go down there. We got the sprayer down there. If I get a spreader, that will go down there. The manure spreader and slurry spreader will stay on our main yard, or our original yard, just because that's where we're producing slurry, and I don't really see a need to run down to the arable yard to pick up the slurry spreader and then run down to our original yard and fill it up and then run back to the arable yard, because that's where all the fields that need the poop thrown on them. I may also end up storing a couple of tractors down on the arable yard, just because that's where most of the equipment I'm going to use on them is. So this John Deere could end up on the arable yard, because that's where the big planters, the big I don't know what else we're going to be putting, but if we get plows or cultivators or other big heavy equipment, that's all going to live up on that yard. And since there's more arable fields around it, we're probably going to end up storing most of our arable crop up there as well. For now, our harvested fields were right adjacent to our original yard, and there is obviously a silo there, so I can use that. We got, we got the soybeans, which is off our original yard, and we've got barley and canola, which is off the arable yard, and I may just shuttle the canola and barley to the arable yard silos, because it's just a shorter trip. And obviously being able to just shuttle stuff quickly between the field and the yard, I can move larger volumes of crop later, like I'm doing now with the oats. When I've got a little bit of time to go out on a road trip, we can just pull the grains and deliver them. Anyway, that's all the grains delivered. So what I might do is sneak in here. And that job is a good one. I'm going to park this over here, I think, for now. Okay, what else do we need to do today? Lime. Probably use the John Deere in a little while on a lime spreader. I might get the big one. You will notice as I drive past this grass field, yes, I did dump some lime on that as well. And so that field should be perfect for planting grass again. Okay, let's unfold that, twist it the other way, and I think I could probably bulge up a little way past the fence, and then I have to come back down and join over there. So let's see how that works out. No, that one. So this bit won't take nearly as much time to edge the field. And oh, hello, what happened there? some reason it's not happy about that piece of ground. Now, one thing I could mention there is that a good reason to use a smaller plough for things like this is that they're not as worried about uneven ground as a big plough is. Okay, let's see. There now. Okay. So for the most part, I think I've got to straighten up before that tree. Okay. Probably the best way to do this again is start from the bottom here and work my way back up. So I left that tree there. I didn't have to, but you know, why not? It's a tree, it's on the edge of the field, it's by the hedge, so it's not like we're really going to get much closer to where we need to be. Now, can we get that? 88. A little bit further, that's about 90 degrees. Let's drive straight up there. Maybe a little bit further over. Let's not have the tractor hit the tree. How about that? Okay, let's again not have the tractor hit the tree. And finally, that looks good. Okay. And pretty close to 90 degrees there, so hopefully that should tidy off that corner quite nicely. And I shouldn't hit the tree at the top, so there we go. I think there's a little bit sticking out that I'm not going to be able to do much about. I may repaint that. So again, potentially here, I might have an issue with a cedar coming through here because that ground is not very level. I think for now, we don't own a plough, so fixing that, I can fix it. I'm just wondering whether that's such a good idea. Well, because yeah, if I level it off, I'm going to have to plough the ground again, is the issue. But I don't know how much of an issue it not being level is. So I guess we'll figure out when we plant the field and get either a nice coverage for that corner or not. The fence is, I think, a usual in-game Giants fence that you can just place the end and then drag along. And you'll see here, I think I got that bit's pretty straight, and then we get to the tree and I didn't go far enough, so it hooks in a bit and then heads straight down to that hedge there. So it's okay. It works. Of course, the other thing I could do, if I find there is a problem in that corner, is just paint it and grass it and stop with that, and maybe put another small tree there along that edge. Just to make it look nice and what have you. Okay, I'm going to try and keep ploughing in this general angle, so I'm not going to turn around and go back the other way because it'll flip the plough and then it won't follow the edge of the field quite so nicely. We're very close to almost right on the field angle, so I'm not ploughing more ground than I strictly need to. This is working nicely. Obviously the downside of putting that fence there is I can't get out of the field on this edge. Now ordinarily I don't believe that's going to be too much of an issue because we're going to be harvesting, we're going to be coming into the field from our new entrance in that corner where we've got the access lane for all of the fields we own on this side of the road.